We have new data when it comes to the used car market, so let's talk about it. Wholesale used vehicle prices moved 0.4% higher in January compared to December, causing the Manheim Used Vehicle Value Index to increase to 205.6, which was an increase of 0.8% from a year ago. Now, the bad news here is that this is the highest level that the Manheim Used Vehicle Value Index has been since October of 2023. But the silver lining of this stat is that it is very, very obvious when looking at this graph that the car market has leveled out. So while it is technically the highest levels that we've seen in about a year and a half, the car market is no doubt stabilizing, and you can very clearly see this from the data. Over the last 4 weeks, the 3-year-old index increased by 0.2% year over year, and MMR retention was at 98.8%. As we know and as we've talked about on this channel probably 100 times, MMR retention is a metric that allows for us to see how much cars are selling for a discount. We view MMR retention of, say, 100% of vehicles that are sold for MMR values. Above 100% means you're selling for above their values, and below means you're selling for a discount. So an MMR retention of 98.8% means that cars are selling for a discount, which tells us that vehicle sellers are having to discount cars in order to get them moving. The average daily sales conversion rate rose to 58.8%, which was an increase of 5.7% compared to last month and a little higher than what we normally see this time of year. For comparison, the average daily sales conversion rate that we've seen the same time of year over the last 3 years is 54.4%, so at 55.7%, we are slightly above that. Now, looking at individual vehicle segments, you can see that the overall car market has increased by 0.8%. And amongst all vehicle segments, there were 2 categories that saw price increases year over year, with luxury cars being the largest with an increase of 2%, followed by SUVs and crossovers, which saw an increase of 1.2%. While on the flip side, there are 3, technically 4 segments that have seen price declines, with the largest coming from EVs with a decline of 5.1%, which is actually quite a lot less than what we've historically seen with this segment of vehicle, followed by compact cars, which have seen a decline of 3.4%, pickup trucks, which have declined by 2.1%, and mid-sized cars, which have declined by 1.6%. So as you can see here from the data that there are a number of cars that have seen price increases, a number that have seen price declines, but overall, the car market absolutely is not seeing those swings that we saw a year and a half, 2 years ago. But let's take a deeper dive into vehicle segments, makes, and models, and let's see how the overall car market is trending per CarGurus, which has some awesome tools to give us a gauge on how individual cars are trending in this market. You can see here, I've taken the graph on CarGurus and I've limited the data to show us roughly the last year, from February 9th, 2024 to February 11th, 2025. And you can see that the car market has absolutely been falling since October of last year. You can see that from February until about mid to late October, the car market was fairly stable. There were some ups, there were some downs, but there really wasn't a ton of movement in either direction. But ever since October of 2024, the car market has steadily been falling. Now keep in mind that this graph right here is a little bit misleading given the fact that this drop right here looks a lot larger than it really is. You can see here that according to the CarGurus index, prices were at $27,975 at the beginning of October. And today, at the beginning of February, they are at $26,914. So movement that is fairly small over this period of time, but movement nonetheless. Whereas if we take this graph and we expand it to, say, December of 2021, whenever the car market began to crash, you can see that the price difference is a lot more dramatic, with prices at about $32,000 on average in December of 2021, and now they're sitting down at $26,932 average in February of 2025. If we scroll down to individual body styles, you can see that overall the car market is seeing declines, with the exceptions of vans, which have increased over the last 30 days, but overwhelmingly across the last 30, 90, and year-over-year data, you are seeing pretty significant price declines. And when we scroll down to individual makes, you can see that it is a little bit of a mixed bag, with some different automakers showing some significant declines, others showing significant increases, and some seeing small movement in either direction, with some of the largest increases surprisingly coming from brands like Cadillac, Chrysler, and some of the largest decreases coming from brands like Tesla, Mercedes. We are definitely seeing a trend here, and that is the trend of luxury vehicles seeing some higher depreciation than some other segments of cars. Something that I've talked about in some of my previous market research videos, because if you guys didn't know, I do this type of video every single month whenever this new data is released. But one thing that is incredibly important to mention, and again, it's something I've talked about before, is the fact that whenever we look at this CarGurus data, this data is much less indicative of the overall car market as it once was. 2 years ago, whenever we were looking at this data, it would really show us where the overall car market is trending. And really what this tells us today isn't the overall trend of the car market, but just short-term trends of individual makes or vehicle segments. This doesn't give you as good of a glimpse of the overall market like it once did, but it could give you a good idea of when could be the right time to buy a specific car. And again, what we are seeing here is that some brands are depreciating better than others, but we are seeing strong stability. But one thing that I always say in these market report videos is that we can talk all day long about what we think a car should be priced at, but the bottom line is a car is only worth as much as somebody's willing to pay for it. So one of the best tools I love to look at in order to gauge this is Cars.com, which not only tells you what a car is listed for, it also tells you how long the car has been on the website and how many price reductions the car has seen as it's been listed. Now, whenever I look at Cars.com, I like to filter out cars that could be reflective of the 3-year-old index, but a bit more loose. So doing something like cars 5 years old or newer with 50, 60,000 miles or less, and something in the $20,000 to $50,000 price range. Here we have a 2023 Mazda CX-50, which is priced at $27,992 with 40,889 miles. You can see that overall this car is extremely clean, and it's marked as a good deal according to Cars.com. But if we scroll down to price history, you can see that this car has been listed for 32 days and has only seen just under $1,000 in price reductions, which isn't great. We have a 2021 Honda Insight, which has about 50,000 miles and is listed for $22,333. This car has been listed for 38 days and has seen $1,190 in price reductions. Originally being listed at the beginning of January and seeing a few $100s in price reductions every couple of weeks. This 2021 Lincoln Corsair is listed for only $22,849 and has about 47,000 miles on it. You can see that this car is extremely clean and is listed at a Honda dealership. And if we scroll down, this car has been listed for 24 days but has only seen $731 in price reductions, which for a car like a Lincoln where they have inventory piling up left and right, this isn't great. This 2023 Hyundai Santa Fe plug-in hybrid, which has just over 10,000 miles and is listed for $35,000 flat. This car has been listed for 32 days and has seen $2,000 in price reductions. A 2023 Toyota Camry Hybrid LE, which has 40,000 miles and is listed for just under $25,000. This car has been listed for 39 days and has seen $1,400 in total price reductions. And you can see a trend here of cars that have been listed for over a month but have only been reduced in price by maybe $1,000, $2,000. One of the larger discounts that I found in doing research for this video was this 2022 Lexus RX, which is priced at just under $41,000, has just under 35,000 miles, and you can see it has been reduced in price by $3,000, but whenever you take into consideration that this car has been sitting for going on 3 months, this isn't great either. Now, the story here is the same story that we've been seeing throughout the car market for the last few months. The car market is stable. Dealers are giving discounts, but the discounts, at least on the surface, aren't incredible. That's not to say that you can't get steep discounts, and there are automakers, particularly ones that have large amounts of inventory, that are discounting pretty heavily. Like this 2021 Ram 1500, which is listed for just under $33,000, has been listed for 72 days but has nearly $7,000 in price reductions. That is significant, especially compared to some of the other cars that we've reviewed. But the largest discount that I could find came from this 2022 Lincoln Navigator Reserve with 57,000 miles, listed for $45,250. And this car has been listed for 164 days and has seen nearly $13,000 in total price reductions. Something that we absolutely should expect to see with car makes that have a ton of inventory in a car market that is absolutely stabilizing. But despite this, there are still a ton of cars that are being advertised with just slight discounts or unexciting discounts. And this isn't to say that you can't get heavier discounts whenever you go buy a car. Instead, what it shows us is that you're going to have to actually do that negotiating in person to get that price lower. And truthfully, I don't interpret any of this as good or bad. Sure, the days of an exciting car market are at least for now a bit over, but there is a benefit to stability. And there is a huge benefit to being able to reliably predict depreciation on vehicles that you're looking to buy, and it helps you more easily and more efficiently plan for that purchase. And so, while sure, stability doesn't make for exciting YouTube videos, it absolutely makes for a healthier car market. Now, don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean that things are safe and sound with the car market either, and there are a slew of factors that could affect the volatility in the car market, including tariffs, the economy, interest rates, EV regulation, and potential shakeups with that. All of these could absolutely impact the car market in 2025, but I don't predict that they'll have a significant impact in the next 30 to 60 days. So if you want to buy a car today, I don't think it's a bad time to buy, though I certainly don't think it's the best time to buy either. Like always, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, if you have anything to add, I would love to hear it, so make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.